contact different directors, different topic, and from these opportunities we can build, as producer also, we can build a new project, because we can find a new match during the festival. As you mentioned, we can, hopefully we can match with some other director or producer for creating a project.
The other member of the jury did have the same feeling, but there was a range of subjects in the films you watched. Something was missing. The mainstream, maybe.
Yes, the mainstream maybe was missing, but I guess that's the nature of the independent film festival, right? That we try to promote different voices and different stories. But yes, the variety was quite wide in feature films and in documentaries as well, because I actually did watch just as the audience during the festival, pretty much all of them. And yeah, it's wonderful to kind of see all those different stories coming together in one event. So yeah, that's definitely amazing.
Well, I just got
I think that was a missing combination.
Yeah,
but we had a masterclass with Thomas Maragos.
Actually,
yes.
I didn't feel that I missed one mention, because during the masterclass we had animated films.
Oh, and I should mention, we also had VR films, because, implementing technologies, the new technologies is also extremely important to experience, well, maybe also like different ways of distributing films in the future, right? So, yeah, VR films, great way also to experience cinema.
Yes, we try to have the classic and the future, also educational. Also, we have events of schools. We did educational presentation about color in filmmaking, and we saw music, how music can have color, and how blind see color, and he also is great painting exhibition about it.
Micrófono, Pedro, micrófono.
And we had also the exhibition, the painting exhibition about color in the urban space. I would like to go on with the future. What is the future of spectators? Yes, there is also the VR technology. There is this option. But what about the classic projection of the film? How do you feel? It will be, people will continue going to the cinema, or they will prefer to watch a film on their mobile or laptop or a home cinema? And what about the platforms? Are you satisfied with the big platforms that exist already? I mean, Amazon, Netflix. Personally, as an emerging filmmaker, I had a big difficulty to submit my film there. And during the pandemic, as a festival organizer, I was struggling, thinking that what will happen? I will be able to host the festival live this year. So the first half of 2020, I was working about that, and we established, just in case, a platform, and under the name Inspire, that's tv.com. In Cyprus, we were lucky because it was the only capital in Europe, not in a complete lockdown. So we had huge screens in the cinema, but only Cypriot people and me on this, and I faced the difficulty and to be COVID and COVID test, and very difficult to travel out of your country. But here in Corinth, we went completely lockdown. So we did the festival online, and the award ceremony was on Christmas Day, because we were waiting until last day municipality opens. And it was very successful because we had audience from all over the world, not only the filmmakers, more spectators, and we sold tickets also. And we had the platform and said, okay, we have your film here in the platform to the filmmakers. You have the opportunity if you want. We can keep the film in the platform, and it can be as a means of distribution, and we can share the income. But the next year, theaters open. We did a festival in ancient Corinth out of the summer, just in case we saw that we would have a live festival. It was very successful after the pandemic. And we didn't want to go back to the platform to have virtual festival. But this year, after 4 years, we said, okay, this is a tool. Because we see all the filmmakers who come here, after that, we cannot find distribution. And then we cannot apply to Netflix and Amazon to be accepted. So maybe this is a solution. All of us who are here to join our content that don't find distribution, we have a common platform. It's a food of thought.
May I add a question?
Yes.
This topic. In the former festival that I was nominated in Singhania, the first prize fiction film was a short film. And the director announced that it will be under distribution. It's the first short movie that goes under distribution. So my question and my problem, because I'm a short movie maker up to now, is what about us?
Also, now we don't talk about feature films, we talk about short films as well.
Yeah, but you see, there's a void here.
Yes, this is what we're going to cover.
How can we
In Inspire TV, we want to promote the filmmaker with his own, her own filmography also.
Yeah, I know.
But
That's what I meant.
Yes.
You are our only hope. And the point is, for this gap, filmmaking versus distribution, who defines who? Because if we are in the point that filmmakers must make films that sell, that's not art.
Yes, that's why Inspire please.
Because building on that, and to answer your question, who will inspire the world, I feel like there should be a collaborative process because filmmakers have very, of course, as content creators, important view on that, but distributors also have important insight of the audiences. So we have to meet kind of in the middle to find common ground to create the best content possible. So it's a collaborative process.
Good. Thank you.
There is an outlet for short forms, and it's a new type of streaming platform that's called Fast.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Sorry. There is a distribution route short films can take, which is on a new kind of streaming platform that's called Fast.
Fast.
Fast. And it's like old television. It plays a linear video, so it's pre-programmed.
Okay.
And in that, say for instance, poker, right? So the whole day it plays poker, you'll play a film about poker, a music video about poker, a chat show, and it's all linear. It's very audience-based. So what you should look for, whatever your keyword is of your short film, look for that for Fast Channel online, and you will find where it fits. And they will license your film or share revenue with you.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
And also for short films, actually I produced several features, and for a couple of them we made deals with short filmmakers, and before the feature we screened the short films, which were just some ways correlating with the features. So we gave the opportunity to the short filmmakers to show what they got. So maybe there's a way to find feature filmmakers with a similar approach and make a deal with them to have your shorts included in some ways in their features.
Thank you.
One of the festival goals is to be able to offer distribution also, to have collaborations with other countries and to have vertical and online streaming. In this festival, I have already a proposal from, not from Ideal, but from the studio cinema, from Baksalevowicz, that we can have a selection of feature films, of even why not a slate of short films, and to screen in theater in Athens. Yeah, yes, thank you. But I would like to have also theatrical in Hungary, Italy, Cannes, and Poland. And China.
And China.
Yes. So let's discuss it. If you like the content. Fine.
Yeah, actually, we already talked about it. We talked last night. We had a lot of conversation about this film, and we're gonna make a couple of lines.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, exactly. And in Cyprus already these films got distribution. Because Tom King and Michael Nichols met the owner of Multiplex, and this is the goal, to have Cyprus and Greece, Hungary and Poland. Let's see, let's start from here. What, Alexander, what is your opinion? What do you think?
Well, at this moment, to be honest, the whole situation in Greece is a bit strange. I was saying that Gladiator was supposed to make first 4 days at least 50,000 admissions, and he did only 40. So you understand, if a film like Gladiator 2 slow down one, it's very confusing. It's the beginning of the winter season in Greece, as you know, the cinema. So it's a big question mark what's happening with independent films. Let's see.
Personally, I find it positive that people didn't go to see Gladiator. Maybe they are looking for something else. That we can
You have the point.
And because Gladiator, very soon we are going to watch it online. So maybe, I know, because I know spectators who come to the festival say, where I'm going to see this film, where I'm going to see, to watch it, so I know that there is at least 1% of the audience looking for another type of content that the cinemas present. And I think this is the truth.
May I ask something? Sorry. Have you ever thought, or have you ever tried displaying a short movie before the big one?
It has happened before, not very often, but it has happened.
And what are your results?
Well, first of all, a normal feature film should be like 2 hours, it should be less than 2 hours. So don't forget the extra 3 programs. So it gives a positive impact to the whole screen. Give a short film, not like 15 minutes, but up to, I don't know, 10 minutes. And it's very positive.
So it works. Good.
Okay, yes.
I think we need to reimagine the distribution as it is now because it's not going to last. So streaming platforms is, if you don't have a huge audience attached to it, it's not going to work because people really they're overwhelmed by different platforms. So the way to go forward is that brands will become the new studios. So for instance, big magazines that have got millions of followers, they have studios already. So you will create content for House and Garden, and it will be a romantic comedy. And inside the film, you will put product placement or re-engineered by AI so that wherever the film is seen, the location where the image changes depending on the language. And that's going to happen in the next 5 years.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That distribution is going to be much more specialized. It's like probably everywhere in Europe you see that the theaters going in a very, very narrow way of genre. They find their audience in a very specific genres, and theaters are moving to smaller, more intimate places. For example, in Budapest we have lots of small theaters, like for 40, 50, 80 people only in the audience. So that's how theater reacted to the changes of times. So they find a smaller audience, but they always have fully booked because there are not hundreds of people in the audience. So that's what they do in theaters. Probably in cinema we're gonna have the same one. Smaller screenings with less audience, and maybe cinemas finding their own audience in a specific genres, like a horror theater or romantic theater, and you know what to expect. You know that every time you go there, even without watching what's going to be on screen, you will know that you're gonna have whatever you like.
What about VR? The future is VR as well?
No, I don't believe in that. It's the same as it was the 3D a couple of years ago. It was a big fuss. It was something new. Everybody thought, oh, we're gonna make movies with 2 cameras all the time, and we had a hard time imagining how we're gonna make movies all the time in 3D. And in a couple of years' time, it just turns out audience didn't care about the technology. They didn't care about how you produced your movie. They care about the story. They care about what they get from the movie they just watched. So it's not about VR, not about 3D. It's not about technical either. So it's just if you can tell a story in a convenient way, and you can engage your audience, that will work. If your movie is in VR and it works, then it works. But it doesn't mean that every movie is going to be in VR.
This is very positive optimist, what you just said, because that means that spectator will not choose to be alone watching the movie. So he will choose to go to the cinema with other people watch the movie.
I don't think we are alone with islands. So at some point we gather together. So if we have a good reason to get together, we get together. Just cinemas nowadays don't give this reason. I don't go to watch a horror movie because this doesn't give me. So, but there are movies I go to the cinema with my friends, with the family, and actually different movies I go with the family, and different movies I go to watch with friends. And if we have the movies to give the reason to get together, the cinema will go on. They will survive.
Thank you. Mr. Kutyik is here, who is a video gamer designer, and we have also a film of his in VR. So he missed the previous discussion, but this is what we discussed, the future of VR. And I know that you are not in favor of this. That you don't believe that there will be future of filmmaking and screen with VR, right?
Yeah, I have a mixed opinion. So I believe that has potential, but it's not very widely distributed and accessible. So if we don't have the medium like the screens in our phones, how can it flourish if only a couple of people have the devices? to view the films. Film festivals, for example, is great opportunity for the masses to view such films, but if they are not accessible at home, I don't believe it can go a lot further.
Okay, and last word, we're going to take coffee and then we will start the part of this program, AI cinema. And Nikos Stavulopoulos is here, also director, and he's going to present the development of AI and Kutyik's courses. Λοιπόν, Aresti, the last word.
Well, I love your perspective about the 3D cinemas that we watch a lot and the VR, what's gonna happen. But the most important, I think, is the collaboration between the people, between the ideas in different countries. As I'm from China, China has the biggest box office from 2018 and the most cinemas in the world as a country. So I believe, for example, I was thinking about a romantic story about the China and Palestinian girl, the Chinese guy with the Palestinian girl, or the Palestinian guy with the Chinese girl. And I think this kind of collaborations between the countries also is what I've done with my film. We bring a little bit romantic, and then we can make the distribution to the biggest market in the world. And
I'm very positive for the future of distribution, but not as you know it will be branding and studios created by brands, and films will have their audience built in. And the finance will be there, so they don't depend on that afterwards for selling tickets. And for documentaries, I believe that corporations, as they do that, always the budgets for that kind of thing have to come on board for documentaries. Thank you.
So I guess I want to say a few words of positive encouragement at the end for filmmakers. Those diverse stories that we've talked so much about, I feel like find the story that you love, that speaks to you at your heart, and then find the best means of new technologies, whether it's AI or VR, whatever it's going to be, to put together a very solid distribution plan so you can reach the audiences. But start at the core, what's here, because then it's going to translate to every step of the process.
I don't want to be too longer, but I think it's important to offer a new perspective in terms of the OTT, big player like Netflix, like Prime. I think if we want to think positive, it will be the start of the ending of Netflix proposal, because this is an homologation of projects that they want to distribute. And as a documentary producer and also as part of the jury, I think it's important to incentivize the production of experimental projects. And as you say, we should offer to the audience an experience, a good reason to come back to the theater. And if we want to do that, we should create events and experience important that make the difference to show the movie on the platform that you can see from home. That is, of course, is a good opportunity for everyone to watch all the movies. But we should bring the audience back to the theater, and also the possibility to meet the directors and to have talks is a great opportunity for school students, for cinema, and we should invest in this. Big player like OTT or big player, they absorb a lot of resources from public fund in Europe. If we struggle to, with our governments, with our policymakers, to invest more in experimental movies, in documentaries, in genre movies, and not more in commercial movies, we can achieve I think, the result to communicate more with our audience. Because, as you say, Gladiator, once they decrease, the audience to go to see the Gladiator decrease, fortunately, luckily, as you say. Because people, I think, quickly will be tired about this movie. Also with the arrival of AI, we will see a lot of movie always the same. The screenplay will be the same for many movies. So invest in experimental is fundamental for us. Invest in festival is fundamental for us to bring audience and to start to communicate better between production, distribution, and audience. Because we are losing the contact with the audience, and the audience is lost in this moment.
Thank you very much. My beautiful jury, beautiful guests, for all your feedback, wisdom, patience. We work with the festival the last weeks and be here, travel from all over the world to come here. More Hungarians were the previous day, but they had to leave the festival last 6 days. Maybe I have to think for 2 days festival with more screening rooms. We will see. We will see. It's one of the problems that we have to solve in the future. I'm very glad that all what discussed will be online to be watched further. And I'm very glad that I feel that fruitful networking started from this discussion panel and to give more opportunity to participate in this festival and beyond. Be blessed and get inspired.